Hi, my name is Terry Lee from Sweet Pea Papers and the Sweet Pea Papers Facebook group. This is video 3 in our series Faded Denim, which is my design team project for CollageType for July of 2022. Now, the theme of this is we're just creating pages and we're not gluing the pages into the book because I'm going to be doing the book separately and then you'll see it in the flip through. However, there are also things that were inspired by videos that I've seen on YouTube, and I changed them a little bit, and I've never tried them before. So that makes it a little bit interesting. Okay, so video 3. We don't need that little piece of paper anymore. Okay, this is our first thing you're going to do is cut and ink your paper for your page, and that's what this is. I love this paper. So this is our paper that we're going to be working on. Okay, this is going to be a writing card that we need for later, so we can put that over there. Now what we're going to do, or attempt to do, is to make a policy closure, which you would think, okay, fine. But the policy closure, the bottom is going to be here, the top is going to be up here, and there in between is going to be a piece that flips down 3 inches to expose the bird and, of course, a writing area, but then also opens up all the way down to double the size of the writing area. Now, this I've seen in my mind, and I've written the steps down, and yeah, so we're just going to go from there. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the top and bottom of the policy closure. Now remember, we need a 1/2 inch on the top and the bottom to flip underneath so that they will have hinges. Okay, now I want this to be measured from the center. We know where the center is because there's a little line, a little point right there. Okay, so we want to put the center, let's measure the center of our paper. Let's make our life easy. Let's see, 2.5, there. Let's see, that's 2 3/4. Wow, this is such an off size. We're talking about 1/16 here. 2.5. plus 1/8. Okay, that's good enough for me. So let's say this is our center point. Let's just say, for the heck of it. So then we'll want to cut this to the paper width from the center. So we're going to line our center line up with the center line we made on the paper. Then we're going to make a mark here. And we're going to make a mark here, and that's going to give us our width of our paper with this pattern in the center, I hope. And this is double-sided because it's going to flip up and the bottom's going to flip down, and you want to be able to have something on the back. I realize with a policy closure there's brads, but we've got little circles for that, or we will. Why is this paper curled up? I do not know. Looks like there's a small flaw there. I'll have to take a look at it. Yes, you see the light color right there? This has all of a sudden become the bottom. Oh, it doesn't matter. We're folding it over. Okay, so now I want the piece. Let's double check. Okay. No, wait. can erase this line. Okay, so we want the top to be 3 inches, so we're going to need to cut 3.5. Is it going to give us our pattern? Yes. I wonder if we should cut it at 3 and have a 2.5 inch flat. No. These are the measurements in my brain. I'm not gonna stray from them. Let's just do the top one first. Take our blade out, put in our scoring tool. And we're going to take this and we're going to score it at 1/2 inch. Get the wrinkle out of the paper. Okay, so that's going to fold back. One-half inch. We still have a nice pattern for our top. We're going to round the corners for the bottom. And then we have to ink it. I know it's dark, but there's still white edges. So we need to ink it. You know what I mean? You can still see the white along there, so we need to ink it. Since this makes it a little bit darker, a little bit shaded, we're going to go ahead and ink across the top too, even though there's no white core. Okay. Let's go ahead and put this on the page. Look at that nice pattern right there. I think we could use that. We're going to need a tuck spot. And we've got one here as well. You know, yeah, we're fine. Okay, so let's just attach this to the page. There's another lighter page for writing, but I didn't like the fact that it didn't have anything on it, really. I liked having the little bit of the blue on there. Over a little bit. Okay, so there's our top. Now let's cut the bottom. Some people leave this one in, but I have the feeling that I would accidentally cut instead of score. Let's do this one the same way. Do we want it as large? No, I don't think so. And we have to do the paper first. But let's go ahead and cut this at 2.5. It just looks crooked. is. Let's just take a smidge off. I knew it was crooked. Okay. Let's measure at 2.5. And it still looks crooked. All right. This cut has to be the one that's crooked. Okay. Oh, excuse me, just 1 second. My alarm went off for my medicine, even though I'd already taken my medicine. Let's see. If we do 2 3/4 and then take off a half, we'll do 3. And put the scoring tool back on. This has come apart and I've put it back together a couple of times. I'm going to score it at a 1/2 inch. Yeah, that'll give us our pattern still. Let's make sure that we're scoring it on the right side, and we're not. Because it's coming up from the bottom. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and ink it first this time, and then we'll fold it. And then we're going to have to set it to the side, because then we're going to make our big flap. We maybe should have set our top flap aside first too, but I think we'll be all right. Because the big flap is going to be from the left, so we don't have to worry about centering. We just have to get the width, and we can get the width from either end, so we don't have to worry about the top flap being in the way. You know what I forgot to do? You guys almost let me forget. Okay. Let's ink the corners. You can tell the difference. Even though this weathered wood isn't very dark, when you add it to the denim color, it does make it darker. All right, so let's set this to the side for a minute. Thank you, Cassie, for the dangle. All right, so now we need our center flap, which is going to be this really pretty piece of paper. Now we want to save the flower. Let me think about this. In my mind, I did it the other way. Well, I want the flower on there. Yeah. So we'll measure the width. And we'll measure the height. Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay. So we've got our width. See, we're going to save this too. We've got these, so we've got plenty to make tucks and circles with. Okay, then we're going to measure, cut it off at the height, which was we want to keep the flower, so we're going to do it this way. Let's double check our width while we're at it. Okay, so then we want our height. I don't think I marked it. I think I set it, but I didn't mark it. To be right here. You get to keep that really pretty picture. Now we're going to score this in two places, because the top is going to flip down and then the bottom needs to fold under. So let's do the bottom half at the 1/2 inch. If we turn it this way, it's going to be easier to, oh, and this needs to be double-sided. It'll be easier to fold if we do it this way. Okay, and then we want to score it 3 inches from the top. And then of course we need to ink it. We need to ink it on both sides. I've already made 2 manila folder circles, and I inked them thinking I was just going to leave them like that, but we've got enough. I'm sorry about my voice, fighting a sinus infection. I've got enough paper to make the circles match the paper, I think, but I think these are going to be fine. Oh, they're going to cover up the thing. We're going to have to center them right there. Where was I at before I got sidetracked? But I thought about adding this on over this because this was inspired by Mandy at Sunflowers and Doors. I pronounce it Doors even though it's only 1 R, so it could be Doors. Anyway, she she only had partially flapped down and made it a pocket. So we're going to do the same thing, but we're also going to make it open one more time. And she had said she wished she had done a policy closure instead of a flap with Velcro at the top. And I thought, yeah, I think that would look cool. So let's fold our 1/2 inch flap at the bottom. And we'll ink that. Now, this is where it's going to fold back. Do I want to ink that? Paper broke. You know what I mean? It made like a little... Anyway, it's going to fold back to here. And then that's going to fold open. I wish I'd have made this shorter. Wish I'd have only made this 2 inches. Okay, now I'm thinking about it. Do I want to ink this? I think I do. Just very lightly. I do not want to ink it on this side. That is an ugly looking fold. A really ugly looking fold. Going to go to all this trouble and then have this really ugly fold. I think I'm going to put you on hold and try it again and see if it looks any better. Okay, I'm going to put you guys on hold. This is just such an ugly fold right here. The camera focus for a second. But I don't know if you can see, but there's wrinkles. But is it going to be any better? It's a fold. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to glue this on first. I want to have enough glue on here so that I can move it around a little bit, but then you have to be careful because it's going to take a bit to dry. I didn't need to ink the bottom of that, did I? I just love this picture. All right, now we're going to glue this on. See how this works? Why is this narrow? Because we cut it so many times. And I was cutting the wrong side. Well, that's not going to look right. I'm definitely going to have to put you on hold. Actually, we'll start a new video. So we only have 4 minutes left on our 30 minutes. And I'll reprint this and recut it, and then we'll be back. All right. Sorry about that mistake. Now, I discovered something when I was making the bottom, which is that we forgot to ink on the inside. It's going to flip up, so we have to ink. Now, this one's going to be a little bit harder. Well, maybe not. We'll just flip it back. I'm going to have to ink it pretty good because I didn't push that down all the way. And then we'll ink this. And I almost forgot to round the bottom corners. Okay, so now we're back where we left off, which is we're going to glue the bottom on over the top of the bottom of this one. We could have put a little bit of a gusset, but really I don't think there's any need. I don't think it's enough. It's just one paper width. Yeah, see, there's a pretty good mark on the side. I should have scored this on the other side. Anyway, and we could have made this a little shorter too, which I still can do. And the reason for that is that we're going to have a writing card in here. Well, it will stick up enough if we make it big enough. Okay, so let's glue this on. Like I said, I've never done this before, plus I changed it. Okay, so I'm straightening it and then I'm pulling it up at the same time because I don't want to make the same mistake I did on the top. Which was to not push this up far enough, you know what I mean, and have a gap right there. So we've got this, and this should fold up right over that. This will fold down over that. We'll have our policy closure. You'll still be able to see the flowers. Now, we could put a card in here as well. And I might. Yeah. So I made the circles, but now I don't like them. So let's make 2 1-inch circles out of our scrap. And I'm wondering if I could get these 2 images right in the center. That would be pretty cool, even though we're going to be punching a hole through it. I think it's too far away from the edge. Okay, let me trim this down. Can't use it anyway. See if we can get our circle hole punch there close enough. It's not working very well. Okay. Actually already have 4 circles, but they're not from the right paper, so we're actually going to need 2 2 more. So we're going to glue these on top of here. I'm going to glue them on the side that doesn't have the pushed out part where I did the pokey hole there with the pokey tool, to make them lay flat. Then of course I'll have to put a circle in, a hole in the center. So now I'm wishing I hadn't done that, but I was going to leave them plain. That's why I had kind of inked them up the way I had. I mean, I can just poke the hole through the hole. That's going to make the pushed out side on the... See, now they have this pattern in the center. Boy, that paper trimmer really did a number on this. Circle punch. I have to wait just a second for those to dry. So... let's ink them up. See if we can cover up where the circle punch kind of myrtleized it. And I guess I'm going to have to get a new one. Maybe I'll get more than a $5 one. The blade will last longer. Yes, $5. Okay. Let's repoke the hole. This is a We Are Memory Keepers pokey tool, and it has the this rounded edge to flatten out the brads. Not had a whole lot of luck with that. I'm going to go ahead and poke it back through this way. See if I can push the, yeah, that worked. Push the part that sticks out back through. And I found 2 small brads. We'll have to see if they're going to work. The only 2 small ones I have that match. I have them stuck on a magnet, so I didn't lose them. But we need to make the holes in here first. So let's see if we can put them right at, I think that's going to be too close to the bottom. So let's do it right where these little thicknesses become thin. And then the bottom one, it looks like the pattern's off a little bit. And do the bottom one here. Okay, I'm not allowed to buy sharps, so now 2 brads will go through here. They're very tiny. So when you spread these open to hold them in, they're not going to leave a very big footprint on the inside. Oh, come on. this one's open a little bit. Put it through the hole. Kind of like that they kind of blend in. Put them side to side. That's the way we did the others. Okay. Now I need two more holes, two more circles to cover them on the inside. And get my crazy hole punch. And don't think I'll be able to get two circles in this area that looks kind of the maybe if I do it diagonal. There we go. And then we'll ink those. I lost them already. We'll ink these and then we'll just glue them over the brad closure. Now originally I was going to use magnets, but then we were going to have to use quite a few circles. I still could use a magnet here and put a tuck spot, but that would end up putting a tuck spot in the middle of the page. So I'm not sure I really want to do that. If I knew how to draw straight lines, I would have drawn them before I put the brad in. So you might want to think about doing that before you put your brads in, if you want to make it look more like a writing space. So let's glue these on. This side's kind of pretty. I kind of like it matching this. You want to kind of be generous with the glue on here. It has to cover those the little feet. Actually, I want this to face this way. I thought the smaller one would be easier to cover. You have to kind of hold it on there to get it to lay flat. Now I'm hungry finally. I think next time I might cut a bigger circle, like a 1.5. Then it would come out farther. And actually that's handwriting. I really want to turn it this way because it's going to open down. Not sure we're going to have time to put the string on, but oh, for goodness sake. It's not like it's that big of a brad. I would have thought with the smaller feet it would have been easier to cover it. Okay. So now we've got our top and our bottom. So I did do that upside down because I had the top and the bottom turned around in my head. Okay. Let's grab some string. We're gonna tie it around here. See what I'm making knot. That's why I said we might not have enough time because it's really hard for me to. There we go. Look at that. Okay, and take your little snippers. Snip this off up underneath. So then all you want is enough to go That looks like it's staying up by itself pretty well, isn't it? I don't know though. Is enough to go down and up and down. That's why I don't really like using this wax thread. And down. Oh, for goodness sakes. And then we can trim it. I think that hemp would be better, but my hemp that I have, my hemp thread is not, now this will go flatter once we glue it on the paper, in the book, okay? So let's undo this for now. And now we need to deal with two things. We need to deal with the writing card that's going to go inside here. Okay, so we're obviously going to have to cut this down. Well, it is the page width already. Appears to be a little wide. And then I want to keep this, so I'm going to flip it over this way. So now she had glued these sides because she made a pocket. But we have this giant flip down. So we are not. We're just going to have it held in by the flap. I'm not sure why it doesn't fit. Alright, let's just take the tan off from around the edges and see where that gets us. Get away, you bad little hole punch. Not all of the brown, just part of it. So let's see about that. Okay, now we're good. Because I want to cover up the bird. Alright, let's round the corners. Now we're going to make another writing card. I've decided. And we're going to put it on the front. But we're not going to do that in this video. You just saw me make the writing card for it, so there's no reason to show you a second one that's exactly the same. I mean, not the same paper, but I mean exactly the same, pretty much the same size and configuration. And if you feel like, and we won't be able to at the size we made the card, so I may cut the card down because I'd like to put a Velcro dot right there just to make sure that it stays shut. So I'm not going to ink this because I'm going to make it shorter. I want it to be below the height of this, but I want to cut it off from this end. So let's mark this, and then we'll cut it below that, and then we'll re-round the corners. Yeah, that won't take very long. I don't know why I was feeding it through that way. We basically cut the rounded corner part off. Let's double check on the height. Alright, now we still need to put the Velcro dot on, so we need it to be even shorter. We'll still see it when this folds down. We need it to be about that much shorter. Got our cherub. I'm not big on cherubs, but since it's there and the writing is up there at the top, that image needs to go that way. Okay, and I'll just ink the front and I'll ink the back off camera. Okay, I guess I should have double checked the size again. Yes, we have plenty of room. So let's get out our white, quote-unquote, clear Velcro dots. And we're going to put it so the clear side is here. If we can't get it to stick, if we can't get them to meet, then we'll just make the card a little bit shorter, more, you know, a little bit shorter again. So we're going to take the card out while we do this. We want the Velcro side on this side, the fuzzy side. They aren't lined up, so I'm going to make sure they're lined up. Just put your white side down up here at the very top. And then just close it and push it down, and that will seal it so that you can open and close it. It sticks both sides down. You know, other than this part, me cutting it the wrong way when I was shortening it, I must say this went much better than I thought it was going to go, just doing it in my head. Just perfect. I'm very happy with that. Then what I'll do is I'll make another card this exact same size and put it in here. Okay, so that's going to be our page minus one card. Okay, so that's it. I think it turned out really cool. You have that extra flip down. We're going to have an extra card here. We're going to be able to see the bird. We'll have the writing on the inside of this, the writing on the inside of that, plus this folds all the way down to double our writing space. It'll open all the way down like this. Okay, so that's it for our page. And that's it for our, for our video. And I will see you in the next video, which will be just a second for you and a day for me. Okay, bye-bye.